Okay, let's do this.
Oh. I always grab
How come Susie still has wine in her glass?
I filled mine up.
Oh, you filled yours up. Cheers. Cheers. Woohoo. And we're going to do cheers to the audience here.
Cheers
to everything. Alone. Cheers.
I love seeing faces in the audience.
That's right.
Hi,
It's great.
Mauro.
I feel like I want to talk to her.
Hi. Yes. Okay, so life-affirming trips.
Hi. I'm Rana. Just kidding.
I'm Rana.
This is my new
Every
thing.
trip should be life-affirming, I say.
Yeah, no,
Let's talk about this.
I've been on some crazy adventures lately. So I actually went to Iraq. So I went to Iraq.
Did.
No, but this is actually a crazy story. So it's a long story, but basically I went to Iraq, and people don't know this, but there's a walk in Iraq, and it's called Arba'in, and it's like this it's not really, there's a second part of it that's a pilgrimage, but there's this walk that they go through from one town to another town, so it's about 800 kilometers, and I'm going to say the number, and you're not going to be able to comprehend it, but there's 38 million people from all over the world who go to this walk. So I actually went.
This is a year?
Every year. Every year to this one. So every year there's this walk. So next year I'm going to take a bunch of people, right? I had never known about it. Whoever wants to go. I actually, to be honest with you, it was just the most incredible experience. Like,
And what is the purpose of the walk?
so it's a long kind of story, but like the actual purpose is, so there's, it's actually about, it's actually a walk for humanity. Like if I was going to explain it, I would be like, it's just a walk for humanity and against oppression. That's what the walk is for. So there's this history. Like Iraq is like a war-torn country. It is just like a blood-soaked country, and I'm going to want to get to that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of history in Iraq. Like there's a lot of history there, right? And people don't know it until you go there. And I'm not the kind of person who would show up in Iraq. I actually just went because my sister-in-law was going, and she was just like, hey, you want to go? I'm like, no. And then she was just like, hey, you want to go? I'm like, why not? And then I went. So it was totally not planned. And I literally planned it in like 3 days. That's how unprepared I was to go. So we go. And
so you don't need a visa or anything to go?
No, you need a visa. So there's a whole host of things. But that's the amazing part of it, right? So whatever.
In case anyone's planning to go in 3 days, that's why I'm saying.
You got to go through the process. So you have to go through the process. But for me, and these are just the kind of things that just you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. Things are going to go the way they're supposed to. You know, like we'll take you where you're supposed to go.
It'll work out.
It'll work out.
Okay.
Because there were so many things that should have happened that just didn't happen. So we went, and then, like it's 38. I mean, the energy, just the connection between people, all kinds of people from all over the world. Like there was people from Finland, from India, from Sudan, from Turkey, from Canada, from America, literally all over the world. And then a lot of people had flags, right? So
Did you have a flag?
See, this is the thing. I didn't know what I was walking into. Like next time I would take a flag.
For a walk, I didn't know the walk.
I just didn't know. I was super unaware of what we were doing and what the whole purpose was. But it was just incredible. And then so you're walking for 800 kilometers, about a 3-day walk, and literally, I mean, to say the words, 38 million people, and they had said they stopped counting at 38. They just gave, like, they were just like, we know. But it's every year. Like it's
the same time of year?
No, it's on this calendar. So it's called Arba'in. I've been posting. I actually haven't posted about it. I haven't posted about it yet because I don't feel like I could say anything that will do it justice. And I feel like I don't actually want to insult the process without being able to actually articulate what that was like, because people love people. You know what I mean? Like people actually love other human beings. And when you're walking like that with all kinds of people, and as far as the eye can see, all you see are heads. Whether they're babies, whether they're on crutches, whether they're on wheelchairs, whether they're elders, all you see are just people. And everyone's just solemn. People are just loving each other and talking to each other, and they're just like,
and
it's
walking.
Like and there's no security.
Okay,
like there's no security. Like there's nobody there.
Did you have to dress appropriately for the walk?
I did.
Okay.
I actually didn't even question it. Like I did because I actually didn't.
Are we talking footwear or otherwear?
No, I was wearing sketches. I actually should have gotten, to be honest with you, Skechers should have sponsored this because I had pictures at the 200 mile. Yeah. No, I was definitely dressed appropriately, and I have wicked pictures of me. I look pretty freaking awesome. Let's put this on the table.
Okay. So did you have to cover yourself?
I was wearing no. During the walk, I wasn't. During the walk, I was wearing a scarf and I was wearing a headband.
Okay.
So I was wearing a headband just because I thought I looked cool.
And you're walking on a highway on a path?
Dude, you're walking on. It's just like this dirt road.
Okay.
It's like a dirt. I mean, Iraq is like a war-torn country. I mean, there's a whole other history behind it, right? This is like they're actually just it's in commemoration of a family who sacrificed themselves against oppression. Like they literally were just like, we're not going to bow down to oppressors and tyrants. If we have to sacrifice our family, we're going to do that. It's a whole different story. But the purpose and the point is that what's reaffirming and what's heart opening and what makes you feel really good inside is that like there's that many people in the world who would come together in a place where mainstream media would make you feel like you would die if you like you would literally die if you weren't there.
There hasn't been anything.
Nothing. And then we actually stayed 10 days after that. So then I went to a bunch of then I went to the Axial Pilgrimages. So you had places where like Noah's Ark and like there's all these crazy, like just a most incredible thing. I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I'm taking people next time because I would love to have like just people who would like feel it with me because it's really, I've been a part of lots of protests and a lot of things, but I've never felt that before. Like I've never felt that before.
You never felt like everyone together for this one purpose?
Never. It's literally, it changes your life. Like it is just something that anything that you had where you were like, wow, the world sucks, you would literally be like, yeah, it sucks. But there's a lot of people who don't suck. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are just, really wicked. But I mean, look, 90% of people are giving me like, that can't be possible because, but to them I say, well, like whatever. I don't really care. But to me, like I wouldn't have gone and I went and I experienced it and then, and I have tons of videos and I have tons of like, whatever. And I'm still waiting for the appropriate time and moment to just post it and just be like, okay, this is what it was.
No, that's cool that you really respect that. Yeah. So are there people that go to this every year?
You know what? It's not normal to go every year. This is like a once in a lifetime type of thing.
Okay.
You wouldn't go because it is hard to walk for 3 days. And then the other thing too is like just.
So do you camp in between walking?
So this is the other thing. Like you're walking and I mean I don't even know how to explain this because people would just not even get it. But like. You're walking and you're walking for 3 days straight because almost 800 kilometers. Or 80 kilometers, sorry. It's like it's just 3 days. I can't remember what the actual number is. But you're walking and then literally people are begging you to take their food. And they're begging you to take their drinks and their lemonade and their juice. So they're just standing at the corner and there's kids just giving you everything. Do you need shoes? Take shoes. Do you need clothes? Take clothes. Do you need, medicine? Take medicine. Do you need to stay somewhere? Come into our camp. Like they're just begging you to come, like because they just want to be hospitable, right? They want to serve you, right? So words can't describe it. It's just crazy. So like there was even like an instance where like the girl who's with me. Because you're just walking with backpacks and like purses or whatever, her strap broke. And then she was like, oh, like, how am I going to carry this? And then you look up ahead, there's like a little shop set up with a sewing machine. And you just walk up and the guy's just like, oh, give me your purse. Let me fix it for you. Fixes it. People had like shoes, like your straps would break on your shoes or
your soles,
whatever. They'd be like, oh, let me fix it for you. People were literally... You didn't go hungry, you weren't thirsty, you weren't hot, you didn't have lack of shower, lack of food, lack of clothes, like nothing. They were just begging you to take it. And then I was like 38 million people.
So at the end of all this, what was your takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway?
We're doing this all wrong, aren't we?
We're doing this all wrong.
Yeah.
And again, it's like I don't want to disrespect the process. I don't know what the takeaway is yet. I haven't gone through because I feel like I'm still thinking about it and I'm still reliving it a lot and I'm still trying to comprehend what I actually saw and I'm still trying to comprehend how you could possibly see that many people in one spot and like, how is that even possible? That's the same amount of people in this entire country.
Yeah.
So it's easy to just kind of sit here and be like, oh, like, but what it actually does inside of you, it's a whole different story, you know? And again, this is for a family. Like, they're literally doing it for a family, and this is a family that Martin Luther King talked about, Nelson Mandela talked about, all the biggest civil leaders who actually fought against depression, they all talked about this family that we're commemorating, right? So there's so much history behind it, but again, wasn't my thing. Anyone who knows me knows this wouldn't have been my thing, and just, you know, the world is funny. Like, you just, like in our last show, if anyone heard, like, the show that we probably posted before this, I had said, like, you know, I'm just, you know, I hit 42 and I'm going through life. Like, I'm just going through, you know, what are we doing? What's the plan? You know, like, what's your contribution to the universe and to the world? And I think you start to come out from that with, like, man, like, just be a good human. Just be a good human being, because there's a lot of people who are, like, walking together, and they may have been of different colors and religions and everything, but they just didn't care. Like, they just, there was so much goodness and love, and you just felt so good.
Have you ever had something, Susie? Or a trip or a place?
Yeah, so sort of twice, I guess. Yeah. So when the Pope was here in 1984, we went to that as a family, and that was really, I mean, I was only 9 years old, but I remember thinking, like, this is really interesting to see all these people here, and again, you know, one of those things where it's bigger than, you know,
bigger than life.
Yeah, like it was just an experience, right? Yeah. And then a couple years ago, my husband and I went to Notre Dame. We went to Paris for our anniversary.
Wow.
And my husband is not religious at all. No. He had tried to go to Notre Dame years ago when he was backpacking with his friends, and it was closed. It was under construction, so they couldn't get in.
Oh no!
Interesting. Then he tried to go again with his dad and his brothers when they went to Europe. The year before we went. Yeah. 2 years before, pardon me. And again, my father-in-law was fiddling with his camera, and they missed the cutoff for getting in. So like they're standing there and the doors close, and my husband's like, no, he's like trying to get to things. So again, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. So we go to Paris, and I said to my husband, I said, I'd really like to go to Sunday Mass at Notre Dame. Wow. I said, I would really enjoy that. And I said, I hope that you can just, you know, come with me and experience it. He's like, I will do whatever you want. He's like, let's go, let's try it. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So we had left our 3 children at home with my sister, who's a saint. Thank you, sister. And so we went to this Sunday Mass at Notre Dame. And I remember we went up for communion, and I was just bawling. Like, I was so overcome with emotion. Yep. And my husband was behind me, so I didn't even see him. We went to sit down, and I looked over at him, and he was sobbing. Yeah. And I said to him, I said, like, are you okay? And he couldn't even answer me. He was just sobbing. And we left the church, and I said, after the Mass was over, and I said, are you okay? And he's like, that was incredible. I'm like, what was it? And he goes, whatever just happened, he said. Yeah. I don't even know how to describe what he said, but whatever just happened, he said, it was like right through me. Yeah. And he said, it was just incredible. And it's just one of those things where, again, you know, it's a gathering of humanity for one purpose. 100%. And everyone has their own journey that they're on, right? Yeah. But in that collective moment, you are so overcome by the smallness and the potential that exists within all of us, I think, individually and then as a group, right? And it's one of those things where, again, you go like, you 38 million people, and it's just like, and nothing happened, you know? And it's just like,
there was no,
how can we be, how can we be so petty and so small-minded to think that what we're doing right now is appropriate, you know? Like, there are better ways to do things, and whatever we're doing right now is not working. Yeah. No, so I always think that, like you said, you know, it's about our place in the universe. And when you think about, so Iraq is basically the heart of civilization, right? You go back to prehistoric times, and all of those things have started there, right? Like they have ancient murals, ancient art, and things that were destroyed by the last government and things like that, right? So it's a cradle of civilization, and you think like everything started here, and people have come and messed it up, basically, in modern times, and it's just like, how did that happen?
But the
like,
things are still
and the people
standing.
Yeah.
So just something that you said, like really just that emotional part, and I think that's why, like even talking about it, like I'm actually having a really difficult time describing it, right?
I can tell.
People can tell, like I'm having
because there's no words for it, right?
There's no words, and so there was this one part of it, the Axial Pilgrimage. So the walk is like, you do it just in commemoration. So it is actually like the 40th day after somebody, and this is the 40 days after somebody passes away, the way that we do it. 40 days is like kind of the day where you're, you do that last, not celebration, but that last kind of something. You do something in memory, and you do sacrifices, and you do offerings. And there's a process that we do. So Arba'in actually means 40th day. Like in Arabic, it means 40th day. But going back to the Axial Pilgrimage, when I came back, people kept asking me, and people still ask me. People on my Facebook, they knew I was there, and they were just like, "What the F are you doing? Like, come back? Are you insane?" And I was just like, "Actually, no. Like, I've never felt more safe or secure in my life, or complete, or full, or satisfied,
or happy,
or happy." Well, happy was it. To be honest with you, I don't think I felt happy. I felt
peaceful.
I felt open and strong enough to ask the real questions, is what I felt. I felt not closed off. I felt like I was open. I felt like my heart was open, and my mind and my eyes were open. And there's this one part, just something you said, because what you said was so beautiful, and it's just got that same feeling. There's like this part where you walk to some of the imams, like, so this is like the art, this is the religious part, like, like they're, for our sect, right? There's like their imams, and you walk to their shrines, and their shrines are essentially where they're buried, right? Where they kind of died and where they were buried, and then they've made these shrines over it because they were slaughtered, essentially. They were killed in these battles, right? Hundreds of years, 1,400 years ago. And you walk, and the way that the shrines are set is like, Baghdad is so unorganized, right? So you're kind of going through all these back alleys to get to these shrines. It's not like it's this beautiful road and then you walk. That's not the way it is. It's like war-torn stuff, and then you walk into this big dome that's like essentially this big massive dome. And what I noticed was I just kept watching people, and it was funny because I was walking and talking and talking and talking, and then you'd kind of turn the corner, and then you'd catch sight of this like gold dome, and then you recognize that they were buried there. And there was not a single person who didn't kind of stop in their tracks and just start bawling. Like the minute you saw this, your world just like, including me. And then I was just like, why am I crying? Like, I don't even understand. Like, I don't even understand, like, what is actually happening. And then I stood there, and I'm just like, okay, like, there's something so weird about this. It's incredible. And then I started watching people, because I could tell where the exact moment where they could fully see it. And I just stood there and I was watching, and it was the same thing for man, woman, and child. Hundreds and millions of people are walking into this, and the second they caught sight of it, it was just an immediate like, it was like something that's changed inside of you. And I have videos of this, because I just stood there. I was just like, this actually can't be real. And I'll be honest with you, there's moments there I thought I was dreaming. I thought this just can't be real, because what I'm feeling or what I'm seeing, it can't be real. And you know what? These aren't like, I mean, not to get like really, but these aren't this is just a human family who believed to stand up for humanity. And they were just like, you know what? This isn't going to happen. We're not going to do this at this time, because forever people will never bow down to really horrible people. And you know what? Like, there's history. But then I started to research it, and I was like, why is like Malcolm X and all these people talking about this family? I didn't know that. And then I started to look into it. I'm just like, wow, like there's so much history that I just didn't know.
So who do you think?
Crazy, like just crazy stuff. But I feel what you felt, that was exactly it.
So who do you think then, and I'll throw that out there, would be close enough to replicate or be what this family is and represent? Or will there ever be? I mean, this is ancient history.
This is 1,400 years ago.
I don't know.
But I think,
Nowadays, what is
everyone.
it? What is it?
Yeah.
Like you.
Well,
I think that there are martyrs every day.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily hear about them.
No.
Right? Because
No.
a martyr isn't in it for themselves. Like a true martyr,
person.
right? A true person who's sacrificing themselves for the greater good is not going to publicize
You'll never
that.
know.
Right? And I think that the innate goodness in a person like that to put themselves at the feet and the mercy of a tyrant or a bully or whatever it might be, a warmonger, to accept and to actively take that choice and say, no, I'm taking a stand, is the ultimate fortitude, right?
100%.
Because what does a tyrant have if not power over you? How many people have the ability to stand up to that and say, no, not now, not me, not my children, not my whatever,
and
right?
how many people would be like, okay, you're chill, like you would do yourself. You'd be like, I'll take it, right?
But can you even dummy it down to everyday life? Even saying no
100%.
to the person that.
But it's true.
And that's a really important point.
Every
actually.
single day. I was watching. It's kind of cheesy, but it's one of my favorite holiday movies, which is Family Man.
Oh,
it's Nick Cage, but he's visited by this angel, right? Who basically puts people in everyday situations to see how they're going to act. And in this one scene, woman gives him a 10 to pay for a pop, or gives him $1, sorry, and he makes it so that he gives her change back for 9. Because he wants to see if she's going to correct him, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't. And it's just like, you know what? Every day you are faced with little opportunities to show your goodness, to show your humanity. Yeah. Do you take them? Or do you take the easy way out?
Right.
That's really what every...
And you're just kind of hitting on all of it, right?
Yeah.
It is just taking the easy way out.
Yeah. Because you think no one will know.
No one will know.
Who's going to know? Who's it hurting? No one will know, right?
And I can kind of just like equate that to, someone had said something to me. Someone sent me a message. Sorry, and I know where this is completely. This is what we do, and it always sends.
They're going to give us the wrap it up signal soon, yeah.
So so there was a UK election, and I'm going to just compare it to politics, right? So there was that UK election. It just happened, and I guess there was like this woman who I think she lost her seat, or I don't remember what it was, but somebody really close to me sent me a message, and he's just like, I was watching what she said, and. Definitely not like equatable, but just in terms of like big concepts. Like what are the big concepts here, right? He says, well, she lost and she said, the one thing about breaking the glass ceiling or being the person who breaks the glass ceiling, something along the lines is that you're the one who has like the glass shattered all over you, right?
Oh, wow.
And that statement was so powerful to me because it's so true. Because when you're that person, it doesn't matter what context we're talking about, whether it's business or humanity or different, all these beautiful, whether you believe in something or not, just whatever you want to do it. Who cares? Just do you, right? But do you the right way. And the right way is just the goodness of as many people as you can kind of bring into that umbrella, right? So when she says this, right, what is she actually saying? That when you're the guy, whether you're sacrificing your family or whether you're whatever you're doing,
taking that stand,
when you're taking that blow, and that's the crux of the issue. These people are not walking to be like, oh, like they're there to this. Like that's not what they're doing. They're sitting there going, man, like you took that step, and I need to learn what that message was. What was that message of being able to take that? And that's what she's saying. She's essentially said, she's like a 30-year-old woman who lost her seat. And she's just like, I'll break the glass ceiling, but I took some blows. And I was the one who's shattered and cut by all the glass. And that's so true, because you'll take the blows, but it's not easy.
So she lost her seat to a man?
Most likely. Just kidding. I don't want to get into that politics at all. I believe so. I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I actually didn't even look into what the actual election. I don't pay attention to the UK election.
It goes back to that adage, which is always I always think to myself and say to myself, character is what you do when no one's looking.
Yeah.
So
as is integrity as well.
And as I get older, we talked about getting older and wiser, right? It's more apparent to me as I get older that people do not have the same heart and values that I do.
No.
And that's why a lot of the world is the way it is right now. And it is challenging and heartbreaking sometimes to live in this world with this heart and those thoughts about,
Agreed.
Sometimes goodness comes easily And sometimes people turn away from goodness. They know the right thing to do, but they won't do it because it's not good for them.
And it's hard.
And I think that is it though?
I think
I don't think it is for certain
sometimes-
people. I think you think it's hard.
People with good hearts, you're able to not think of it as easy or hard. You're thinking of it in terms of right or wrong.
Yes.
Or what feels good and what doesn't feel good, or what's
That's
integrity and what's not, and what's honesty and what's not. But people who don't have good hearts,
That's right.
they're thinking in terms of, well,
What's in it for me?
That's pretty hard. I don't want to be doing
What's
that.
in it for
so
me? Yeah.
people are very different.
Yeah.
Like, we are very different, but there is a common thread. I mean, humanity's humanity. We have to care about each other. There's all that.
But I think sometimes
100% right.
when you experience, like what you said, when you put yourself in a position to be humble and vulnerable, and really look at your place in the universe in terms of what are you putting out there and what are you giving back, okay? Did you make this world a brighter place while you were in it?
100%.
Or did you steal? Did you steal somebody else's light? Right?
Yeah. I'd love to hear some input.
Absolutely.
Because this is a really deep conversation.
It is a deep conversation, and I just want to see
such deep conversations.
exactly. And I just want to open it up and just say, like, if you want to jump in, please do, because I think this is a great conversation. I'll pass the mic.
I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on this. Yeah.
Did you want to go first, Charlotte? No? I love this conversation.
Yeah, I was
love,
just saying to the person, I said, I'm loving this.
I love all the pieces to this conversation. I love the conversation about humanity, about character is who you are and your choices when no one is watching. What you leave behind in this world, what you do for humanity and acting with kindness. And that actually fits in so deeply with Charlotte and I in our world. And maybe I'll let Charlotte explain that a little bit.
Oh, you're so funny. I was going to use your words then. So Kirsten and my world is, we work in mental health. So we're mental health advocates. And when you're blessed with children who have struggles with mental health challenges, as parents, because our world, what we thought it was going to be when we had these children to what it is now, is very different. And you learn how to appreciate life more. You learn how to not worry about the small things. Kirsten has an example of, if you go to the chamois and the car doesn't get cleaned as well as you wanted to, you know what? It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
You let it go, and you just appreciate life so much more. And so we always talk about how blessed we are that we have the daughters that we do, and the gifts that they've given us. And one of it is looking at life through a lens of gratitude and love.
Oh, I love
it. Absolutely. And also the power of what it means to go through something really, really hard and to almost not even quite get through it. And when you do, the power of reaching back and helping the person behind you because of what you learn.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's how we spend our days is the gifts, and we call them gifts now because through all the struggle and all the shame at one time when our worlds went very sideways, we now are in a place where both our children are doing very well. And
Still bumpy.
It's still bumpy. But if anyone says it's not bumpy, I call.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Oh, you guys are so amazing.
I think, and we'll probably continue the conversation, but I think humanity, having those kind of life-affirming moments. You did on your walk.
100%.
And I think Susie and I, we can attest to when we have our children, when we are with family, Charlotte and Kirsten, the same thing. We all have our different moments.
Totally.
But I think that every once in a while, it's so nice to come together and kind of talk about them.
Absolutely,
because
it is.
we get so caught up on what is depressing us, what is wrong with us, and trying to right all the wrongs. I think this is that kind of a beautiful conversation to say that, you know what, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, and we're all enjoying life.
And I think just
doing it together, or we're just all sharing it together.
Being very authentic and living our truth, which is
totally
very
just do
important,
you.
All right, cheers,
cheers to that. And I think it's really, cheers to just having no fear to take those risks, to go on those journeys. You know?
All right.
Because that was
You never know where it will
Never
lead.
know. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.